Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I just got back from a motorcycle ride. It's a nice morning out here. It's probably going to rain later, so I wanted to get it in early. It's good to have hobbies. You know why? Because we need to be able to get rid of all that shit inside of our heads. Need to be able to flush the toilets. All that bullshit that accumulates all week long. All the stress, anxiety, negativity, all the sick thoughts, all the demented fantasies, all the anger, frustration, all the darkness. You just gotta flush all that shit down the toilet. And you do that through finding a good hobby that you can absorb yourself in. You know, for what I do, I have a bunch of hobbies. Creativity is one great avenue of doing this, finding a creative outlet. So I like to write, and that's one of my hobbies. I suggest people find something creative, artistically creative, to express that side of us. Every single person has that in them, and it's just a great way to express yourself, to get what's inside of you out. It's a good release. It's a good way to absorb some some time and whatever. So it's good to be creative, but you want to be able to have a hobby that serves a few needs. We don't just have hobbies for the sake of it. Now let's clear it up that beer drinking, going to the bar, relaxing with your friends, that's not a hobby. That's an escape. That's a vice. Watching TV, watching the game, that's not a hobby. I would argue, and some people might argue against this, but I would argue that playing video games is not a hobby. That's a vice. It's a way to put yourself into a catatonic state so you can kind of avoid thinking about certain things. And, a lot of people use video game time as a way to just check out, as if it's meditation time. I don't really believe that, but maybe that's debatable. I'm just not a video game person, I guess. That's why. It's important for people to have hobbies. One of the hobbies that I have that I use to flush the toilet is riding a motorcycle. Now, there's all kinds of ways that you can get the results that I get from riding a motorcycle. And one of the things that I get from riding a motorcycle is that I can, on the very basic level, just check out. I can go off the grid. I'm no longer available for that time that I'm riding. I don't answer my phone. It's not like when you're in the car, when you can sit your phone next to you and or they have cars now where you can just respond through the system in your car. The bike is different. Unless you have some high-tech fancy helmet, it's just nice to not be able to check messages. I don't even know if they're coming in. I have no idea. That phone's in my pocket and I can't even look at it. There could be people blowing it up, sending me message after message. The whole world could be coming to an end. How would I know? I'm not looking at it, and I can't look at it. I don't pick it up and look at it at stoplights. For the time of the ride, I'm off the grid. And it's nice to be able to be off the grid sometimes. Just to be in our own world, untouchable, unreachable. It's good to find hobbies that you can get absorbed into like that. So you can just have a little escape. Sometimes we look forward so much to vacations. I talk about building a life that you don't need a vacation from. A lot of people talk about that. I like to promote that heavily. If you engage in activities in your normal schedule, in your normal weekly life, that can help you to escape some of the problems of society and some of the mundane bullshit that you go through, you won't be so desperate to have that experience, that relaxation, that final just deep breath and just, gosh, I finally feel relaxed. You don't need to look forward to that just for 2 weeks, once a year. You can do that for yourself anytime, and all you need is the right activities. Another reason why I like riding motorcycles is because it's a hobby that keeps me in the moment. So it's good to find a hobby that keeps you in the moment, keeps me thinking. I'm actively thinking. That's the difference from it being a vice. Because with vices, we check out and we're no longer thinking. We're just in this kind of in between stations state. With a motorcycle, I believe, for me at least, it's a hyper, and I don't mean hyperactive, but it's like a hyper sense of awareness. I'm more aware of everything going on around me because of survival needs, because you're riding a dangerous vehicle exposed to the elements. Any wrong move and you could crash, or someone could, you could die. So you have to be aware of everything, and it's a sense of awareness that you don't get when you drive a car. When you drive a car, you can get from point A to point B and not even really realize how you got there. I mean, you just kind of go through the motions, especially if it's a commute that you do every day. You don't even really remember it. It's just automatic. You're on autopilot. You just kind of think about your bullshit as you're flipping through or listen to your radio stations or whatever you do in there. A bike is totally different. A journey from point A to point B on a motorcycle compared to a car is a completely different experience. That journey is completely different. The distance feels different. The time spent on the road feels different. Everything about it feels different. And that's one of the reasons why I like using a motorcycle as a hobby to ride. I just get on it and go. I don't have a destination. I just go. Within a few blocks, I start to release some of all that bullshit. I can just imagine in my head all that shit inside my brain just swirling around, getting flushed down that toilet, getting sent down those tubes. I don't know where it goes. I don't want to know. It's just gone. Right? That's what happens when you take a shit and you flush it. We don't really know where that shit goes. We're just glad it's not in our place no more. And that's what I use motorcycling for. There's all kinds of hobbies that you could come up with that will give you that same type of experience. The type of experience where you can still be aware without checking out, without having to slip into a catatonic state, without doing drugs or alcohol, without just zoning out in front of the TV, watching hours of Fox News and brainwashing yourself. Find something, go out into nature, take hikes. I mean, there's a million activities. Exercise can be this way. I exercise 6 days a week, and I use that as time to rebuild myself, not only physically, but mentally. So when I'm looking at my life over the course of a week, I have more than one way in order to reclaim some of who I am, to be able to just get rid of some of the shit that society puts up on us, that we carry this baggage, this load every day. We're like Sherpas carrying the load up this mountain every goddamn day. We have a way to just kind of drop it. For me, it's exercise. For me, it's creative writing. For me, it's going on motorcycle rides. All three of those activities kind of serve slightly different needs for me, but they are all outlets, all ways for me to release energy and at the same time to regain energy, to let go of the negative, let go of that stuff that you don't need. That's why we call it like flushing the toilet. And when you flush the toilet, you flush all that shit out. You flush the bad water out, all the nastiness that was in you. And it refills, clean and bright and fresh and new. Same thing with our mind. When I get back from a ride, I know I still got shit to do. I know I still got to return to my regular life. I'm back on the grid now. I can check my messages and get back to my business, but I feel so much more empowered, so much more in a good space, and where we are in our heads at all times matters, because it's like we're navigating, constantly navigating. And you want to be able to navigate from a position of power. And the way that we're in a position of power is with a clear mind, so we can really make the right decisions at the right time and have it feel effortless. We can be overwhelmed with life. I know I get this way a lot, and it's just because I feel like I'm carrying such a load. My toilet bowl is full of shit. So we got to flush it every once in a while. Get yourself a hobby. Make that shit your life. Do it every day. Thanks for watching.